Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to go through some emergency changes I'm making to my trades in the middle of round 6. Let's get into it. So far the round has gone alright. I was going to say decently well, but not, because Bont's on 66, Jake's is on 34, Sarong's on 48, Bruin's on 56. I've already lost rookie roulette on 2 lines, twice in my back line, but it's some things that have happened to players that I don't own that is spurring me on to make these emergency trades. Mainly, one, Elijah Sardis, who has gone 82, then 101 at 223.4k. He had a pretty good game against the Suns where the Bombers almost won. They were narrowly behind, had a much better kicking efficiency. But Sardis, he got 74% time on ground, which, if you know this guy's history, is quite a rarity. And in that 74% time on ground, he got 25 touches, 10 contested possessions, 7 clearances at 80%. If we look to what he did last round against the Demons, it was a similar story. 78% time on ground. The efficiency was lower, got 29 touches, got a heap of the ball, got a goal as well. And with Brad Scott's coaching tenure on the line, is he now moving the magnets in the midfield? Because if we look at the midfield, Merritt's on 45% in this game. Ursa had 2 kick-ins. If we go to this Suns game, Merritt's at 43% with 4 kick-ins. Is Merritt moving out of the midfield and Sardis taking his place? I think that's a possibility, and I think that Brad Scott will continue with this, given how well they've played in these 2 games. These have been by far their 2 most competitive games. And so I really want to be part of that. I really want to get Sardis in. But how does that work? Because I want to get Naz in next round. And as you can see by the thumbnail, I'm getting him in this round. But my plan is to get Naz before round 7 at least, so I can take advantage of this West Coast matchup at home. I also want to get in Angus Anderson, because Angus Anderson had a pretty good game against... I had a decent game against the Blues. I think he got... search by price per point. He got 64, which you'll take that as a score. He should make some good money. It was a pretty down game from him. And so I don't have a boost, so I can't get all 3 of them in at the same time. And so I have a feeling I need to get Naz in now. And if we look at my changes, everyone has either played or is playing except for Rochelle. And if you're wondering why I'm sort of rushing this a little bit, it's because the game starts in like 23 minutes. So I really want to get this done before the game starts, so I'm not locked out. Because I reckon Naz is definitely going to be one of the top players in defense. And I'm not quite sure on Naz. I'm not quite sure on Rochelle. Because I'm going to lock this in, because that's what I'm going. I'm going Naz for Rochelle. One of the reasons this is because Todd Marshall's scoring basically 80. If we look at his score, he's on 75 Supercoach. The game still has, I believe... Oh, the game's... Oh my God, wait. Come on, Hawks. Come on, Hawks. Okay. I'm a Hawks fan, if you don't know. And yes! Live reaction. Hawks come out on top. Butters with 58. 158. Jeez. But anyway... Got a bit sidetracked there. With Marshall's 78, and with Josh Carr coming out and basically saying, with Lukosius out, they're going to play double rucks, I feel a lot more comfortable that Marshall's going to be playing in his preferred position. He's going to be getting these 8 marks, these 14 kicks a game, and he's a fieldable forward rookie. The same can't be said about the likes of Cook and Philippou, And with Marshall's scores of basically wall-to-wall 80s, if you ignore that 48, he's basically got 90, 73, 80. 70s, I'm very content with fielding, especially given the likes of this Bruin 56, Farrow 61, Sarong, Jakes. I'm happy fielding a score like this on field. And as you can see, I probably am going to do this with Devrob. And so my need to fill out the forward line is a lot less now. And going Naz right now allows me to go a double downgrade with the likes of maybe a Jagger Smith and a Devrob and get both Angus Anderson and Elijah Sardis, and then sets me up perfectly to get someone like a Hugh McCluggage or a Matt Rowell in next round, because Matt Rowell, he had a respectable score, but he's still going to come down in price. If we look at it, 125, he had a break even of 220, which is no bueno. And he's probably going to go down by 45k. You'd expect maybe Urso go down by a little bit more after that, but we're not sure because, of course, he had the 55. That's now coming out. And especially with the likes of a Hugh McCluggage. Hugh McCluggage is someone I have on my radar, not for right now, but for the round after next. And that should also hopefully coincide with Patrick Rechko, who, if he keeps his spot, will probably be a trade-in. He was in some of my preseason teams. But yeah, Hugh McCluggage is projected to drop to around about 541k. I reckon it's going to be about 560k because I don't think he's going to score back-to-back 100s, especially if Dawson misses another game, which you wouldn't expect he would, but you know, we need to give him all the time he needs. And so I think this is what I'm going to do. Naz is 100% going to be a keeper in the back line. Rochelle is a little bit less certain. If we look at quickly the forward primos, sort by averages. You got Petrarca, who's back. Sheasel, not quite sure. I'm happy with this Took Miller score with 103. It gets him back basically into the 100 averages. Cozzy Pickett should be a keeper. McInerney's a watch. Bailey's a watch. Rochelle's a watch. I don't think Tim Kelly, Shai Bolton, Josh Tracy, Bailey Williams, or Aaron Cadman are going to be in this list at the end. And then you've also got Flanders, hopefully. But then you've also got, where is he? He's somewhere around here. Isaac Rankin, who he had an interrupted preseason, and he's building back. And if him building back means Rochelle's CBAs drop, then it's not good for Rochelle. And so if we look at Rochelle's CBAs in this game, actually let's scroll down. He had 65% CBAs. Isaac Rankin had 19%. If we look at the game before that, so back in round 3 against the Cats, Rochelle's CBAs was 64%. Rankin's was 5. He had 1 CBA. If we go back to round 2, which I think was Rankin's first game back, maybe, Rochelle is at 35%. Rankin's at 32%. So I'm not sure what was happening with that. But we look at last round against the Blues. Rochelle 48, Rankin 27. So I think Rankin is starting to build back. I reckon Rochelle is going to have a good score this round, for sure, with both Jordan Dawson and Jake Soligo out. But is it going to be a consistent level of scoring for him? Because something we also need to add is he had 4 goals in this game. If he gets 3 goals, he also had 5 free kicks, 4, which was extremely lucky. You move that down to 2, which seems to be the average for the Adelaide players here. If you move that down to 2, you move that down to, let's say, 2 goals, 2. This drops to about 105, I'd say. And that's on a good day for him. I'm trying to convince myself that Rochelle's not the pick, but given I've traded him out, he's probably going to drop like 130 today or tonight. But I think this sets me up for the long term. It helps me get the good cash gen and to further elevate my team, because it also allows me to, if I don't want to trade out Jagger Smith, allows me to get the likes of Lockie Jakes out, because Lockie Jakes has been looking really disappointing. It allows me to get Leo Lombard if I feel like that, or Tanner Bruin. I mean, I could probably get Tanner Bruin out anyway, but it gives me more flexibility with my trades. And so I think I'm going to wrap it up with that. Not going to try and take too long on this. Chuck a like if you like the trades, and I will see you on Monday for the round wrap. Happy coaching.